Let's imagine a world where money isn't printed by governments, banks, or centralized institutions, but instead it's created directly by people themselves through code and collaboration. Welcome to the Atropa ecosystem and specifically to the Atropa Treasury Minters. But what exactly are the Minters and why are they so important? I'm going to dive deep into these over a series of episodes, and we'll start with an overview of what it all means. Minters changing the game. Why Atropa Treasury Minters matter. And obviously we've got some upgrades with these cute little videos too. Hashtag thank you Midjourney. What are Minters? On the surface, a minter looks simple. You deposit token A and you mint token B. But underneath this simple mechanic is something powerful. Minters aren't just token making machines, they're economic tools designed to reshape the entire value structure of decentralized finance. However, until now, they've been feared because of the old linear view of DeFi. Everybody fears whenever somebody mentions anything about minting, because obviously, when there is minting, then there is the inevitability, or the potential at least, of dumping. And so there is this massive fear behind what minters are. So how do minters work? Every time you mint a token, so token B, you lock up or permanently remove token A from circulation. You aren't just creating a new asset. At the same time, you're strengthening the ecosystem by locking value inside of it. How this happens depends on the type of minter you use and your design intention. So obviously there's V1, V2, V3, and V4 minters, and I will be going through those individually in individual episodes in future episodes. How does TradFi work? So in traditional finance, it relies on trust, centralization, and external backing via banks, reserves, gold, and fiat currency. So the US Treasury issues treasury bills, treasury notes, and treasury bonds. So basically these are IOUs, it's debt. The Fed prints money when liquidity is needed by buying off banks and the market. And this is how liquidity is injected into the system, basically printed out of thin air. This is a problem because it dilutes existing value, which creates inflation. It's centralized. In other words, the Federal Reserve is a privately owned company, and it's spiraling debt printed out of nothing. So it grows forever and ever and ever. So at the moment, the world is in trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt, and it continues to increase over time. The Atropa Treasury Minters change this. So Treasury Minters. Basically, the Treasury Minters create value by permanently locking assets in a transparent, decentralized way, building an economic foundation that's secure, trustless, and 100% community driven. This means the tokens you hold aren't just speculative, they're fundamentally supported by real, on-chain value that can be permanently locked into the system. This is a solution because new value is created by sacrifice. It's value backed. It's creating a building block, a foundation to be built upon. It's decentralized and community run and code run. So it's for the public good, and value can be permanently locked in. So there is no debt. It's like the building blocks of life. It has a regenerative design logic. It's restoring, renewing, and evolving systems, continuously giving more than it takes. So in other words, when you compare the traditional financial model with the Atropa Treasury Minters, in the traditional world, this creates money from debt. In the Atropa Treasury Minters, it creates money from locking value. TradFi is controlled by central banks like the Federal Reserve. The Atropa Treasury Minters is controlled by users and smart contracts. TradFi dilutes everybody's savings. The Atropa Treasury Minters strengthens the value of the ecosystem, again by locking that value, creating a solid foundation. TradFi has an infinite debt spiral. It never ends. It's impossible for it to end. It is literally embedded into the logic of the traditional financial system. The Atropa Treasury Minters are finite, permissionless minting loops. So the value keeps circulating through and gives more than it takes. Now, how minting changes the game. When you mint a token, so token B, you're creating a token and restructuring DeFi's economic landscape when you lock that value in. So each locked token reduces the circulating supply of the first token. So you mint token B and you're reducing the circulating supply of token A. As you do this, this creates scarcity in token A. This scarcity leads to stability, and then this stability leads to trust. And of course, trust attracts more people, and then more people attracts more value, and more value attracts more usage. So how does minting change the game? This cycle, which is powered by minting, could redefine how cryptocurrency ecosystems function altogether. Rather than the linear model of temporary hype and eventual crashes, minting creates permanent strength. It's an entirely new approach, one that's quietly reshaping the foundations of decentralized finance. So what is the potential of minting? What could the minters become? This is really important. So this is all just speculation, but could they enable an entirely new economic model like decentralized community banks? Could they power decentralized bond markets? We're already seeing elements of this within the Atropa ecosystem. Could they create permanent liquidity floors for new tokens? When you look at the Atropa token or you look at pDAI, they have certain floors that are created by burning of tokens. They have the potential to be more than just decentralized financial tools. They can be building blocks for economic sovereignty and stability. And for me, this is something that is very, very important for a world that is more fair, more sustainable, and more equal. So yes, minters are an evolution, not only on traditional finance, but even on DeFi. And yes, it does matter. But it requires you to break free from the old fear mindset of minting in a linear model of DeFi. In a linear model of DeFi, yes, minting is an issue. Yes, it is something that we should be afraid of when there is one token connected to another token and the value of the first token gets minted and it can therefore be dumped into the second token. But this is a completely different model. This is a completely unique ecosystem design. So it's not just about minting new tokens, it's about redefining the structural core of DeFi in a way that incorporates and builds on all the best elements of TradFi, but in a completely decentralized way, and in a way that's regenerative, and in a way that's sustainable, and in a way that is fair. It's more aligned with nature's flow. It's more aligned with the properties of the universe. And this is something that should last very, very long if it does take off and it does work. I don't know what you guys think about that, but even putting this episode together helped me understand the Atropa Treasury Minters even more. So in the next episode, I'll be starting to explore the Genesis Minter, so the V1 Minter, and why the simple approach set the stage for everything else to come. The way that I think about it is Maria, or Hamad Daichi, has basically led the way by showing us the power of the minters step by step. So I really hope you enjoyed this. It's a whole new logic. This whole idea of the Atropa Treasury Minters, it's a new logic. But more importantly, it requires a new mindset in order for it to be understood, adopted, and embraced. So please subscribe, leave a comment below with your thoughts, and let's keep exploring the power of the Atropa Treasury Minters together. Take care.